2, 1. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome to the Jason J. Daniels Show. You know we have to talk Eagles. We got to talk Super Bowl. We got to get into it. I am so excited that the three-peat has been crushed, defeated. I was really hoping the Eagles would pull it out. Now, we predicted in our last show they would, so I had to bring back my man here, Sunshine State Eagles. What's up, my friend? I'm just going to drop your handle right there. Let's tell the people. Talk about what you're doing on YouTube. Your TikTok's blowing up 5,000.
Yep.
I almost said 500,000. That's where I was going. That's the future. Tell the future.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal towards the end, right?
Yeah, 5,000 on about more than 5,000 on TikTok. He's blowing up. He's on X. There's his handles. You need to follow him. And let's talk about your YouTube channel. I know you guys are working on something that's really powerful on YouTube. Talk about that real quick so they can know where to subscribe to you, and I'll check.
Yeah, for sure, guys. First of all, thank you, Jason. I appreciate you for bringing me on, man. Talk some birds and our victory. You guys can find me at Sunshine State Eagles at TikTok, YouTube. I also run the Eagles Nest podcast. It's a podcast powered by the Sports Lounge Media guys. It's the media company that's going to allow me to be credentialed next season, and I'll get the opportunity to attend some of these games as a media member. You can find that on YouTube as well, and X. And Instagram. We're getting all of the socials running, guys. Really looking forward to next season. The Sports Lounge Media is doing a lot of really big things. Cool. We're going to have our own red zone. We've got a lot of things coming in.
That's really cool. Is you guys going to pull that off on YouTube?
Yeah. We're going to do our own red zone every single Sunday. We got a guy that's going to man it, and then the rest of us are going to go across the country and try to cover as many games as we can.
Wow. Okay. Well, you're definitely going to be Eagles expert. Do you have a few other Eagles guys, or are you the only Eagles guy?
Yeah. So it's me and two of my other guys are also Eagles guys, and then we have a Bears person. We have a guy that's a Patriot. Ken's Pat's Talk on TikTok also does the Patriots. He's got some really great interviews on there. He talks to people within the. He's very, very close with the Patriots organization. Talks to their beat writers and sports writers all the time. It's the Sports Lounge Media is going to be the go-to entity for your sports content, guys. Go check it out.
That's really cool. That's super ambitious. Let me ask you one quick question before we go. I'm really interested in this. How did you get connected with so many great sports fans that actually have like some ability to connect to these actual major teams? Like, how did that happen for you?
Yeah, I
know a lot of people want to do that. How'd you do it?
Right. It happened by chance. I started this way back in October, Sunshine State Eagles on TikTok. I said, you know what? I love the Philadelphia Eagles. I love the NFL. I might as well get on here and talk about it. Worst case scenario, I get to speak on the sport I love, and nobody listens to me. Best case scenario, this happens. And I've gotten the opportunity to meet some really, really, really great individuals through TikTok. The app is extremely powerful. It put me in contact with, he's known as the Chosen One on TikTok. He's my friend. He not only is he my business partner, but I do consider him a friend.
Okay.
He lives out in Vegas.
It's good to have both.
Right. And most of the time on these apps, you look to make professional relationships, and this one has kind of just born into really a friendship. And he runs the Sports Lounge Media out of Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a company that he owns, or that he is co-CEO of and operates. It is NFL credentialed. We will be at Eagles games next season. We will be at the Super Bowl, all the different events, man. We're going to get the opportunity to be at those. And I literally met the guy in a TikTok live. That's how it happened. Like, I have people come in my TikTok lives, and guys, at the end of the day, Sunshine State Eagles is not just an Eagles page; it's an NFL page. I welcome everybody to come talk. Even if you're a Chargers fan, or if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, not even talking about the big teams, come talk sports, man. I welcome all fan bases. I played the game at every single level except the NFL, so I try to keep a level mind and a unbiased mind, because I'm wearing all the Eagles gear. It's easy. This season, it was really easy, Jason, to pick the Eagles. It was super easy.
Yeah, okay, for you, but in the beginning, what were they like? 2-2 or something? It was right. Yeah. People forget that. So back to really quick. I'm like so intrigued in the media empire you're a part of. I want you guys to come on when the time is right. Come on the podcast. It's going to be fun. We'll talk about it. I want to talk about that with.
Yeah, I can reach out to my business partner and see if he can clear some time to come on one of these with me, and we can just talk.
Yeah, no rush. Just whenever it works out. It's going to be a great off season. And I think it's really great that you're just putting your heart and soul into it. And I want to tell everybody watching, he's not kidding. He covers every aspect of the NFL. He's on top of it. I thought I was on top of shit, and then like I discovered him, and I'm like, he's like killing it, man. And you have a really great take. You're not just just spewing stuff.
Right.
You know your statistics, and you have really smart takes on football. And so, okay, cool. We have sold you as a product. They need to subscribe to
I
you.
appreciate it, guys. Go
now
give
we're
it a look.
talking Eagles, man. You made me a believer. I got to be honest. At first I wasn't, and there was a few lives where they were killing me, man. The Eagles fans were killing me because I was being, I was like trying to find a weakness, and that's just our job, right? We have to be critical. I couldn't find a weakness. I mean, I tried, and it didn't. I was clearly wrong. But you guys were right. And not only are you right, but you're wearing the gear. You were wearing the championship gear. Okay, show the gear off. You got your gear, show it. That is dope. That's cool. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty
we got
sweet.
that. We got the chain on. We got the we got the Super Bowl shirt.
Okay, that is great. I love that. That's really cool.
And we've got more coming in. This is all thanks to Fanatics. Fanatics has some really great I knocked my thing over sideways. Fanatics has some really great gear, man. I've got some hoodies. I got another hat coming. Fanatics really killed it this year with the
this stuff's really good. That's really cool. So how does it feel? I know you've been doing a lot of interviews. You're really busy, so I appreciate your time tonight. How does it feel? You guys are the champions, man. Talk about that feeling.
Man, I got to tell you, this Super Bowl, and I think we spoke on it the last time we spoke, this Super Bowl really means a lot more to us as Eagles fans because the whole, it's like you said, when we went 2-2, nobody really gave us a shot to do this until they seen how good the team gelled together. But at the same time, we felt like we needed to get our get back for the last time we played the Kansas City Chiefs. We felt like we left a lot on the table. And I would say we emphatically took that back from them. Not only did we stop the three-peat, but we bullied them. We came and dominated every single phase of the football game.
Warms my heart when you say we stopped the three-peat. I could not go 5 years of these fuckers not shutting up about it. Like they were
beautiful, man.
After the three-peat, even if they had lost next year, they just would still be talking about a dynasty. And look, okay, you're a very nice guy. I'm not. So I will do the hating. You can do the loving on the Eagles. I'm just going to be honest. I am so glad that there is no dynasty anymore. The Chiefs never had a dynasty. If people think they had a dynasty, dynasties don't do what they did in the Super Bowl. Now, it wasn't just that they were a bad team, which we knew it. I mean, they could have turned it on at any moment. We even thought in the fourth quarter, we all thought, okay, 5 minutes left, they could turn this on. That team has done that before, but it wasn't going to happen this time. But the Eagles brought a fierce game. They didn't just win.
It was the best defensive game I've ever seen.
They took it. Yeah. I got to say, it's kind of up there with what the Ravens did, 15 years ago or something?
Against the Niners?
Yeah, that was a crazy defensive domination. We'll talk about Cooper DeJean later on, which he basically, I feel like that was the game right there. I feel like he just broke.
That was the turning point. For me as an Eagles fan watching, I was very hesitant to say, okay, it's a wrap, just because I knew the Chiefs. The Chiefs are very good, whether they're especially when they're down. And we went up.
True.
We went up 10, and I was like, all right, we're up 10. This is comfortable. If we could get a stop here, that would be great. And before the game on our live, we all had a live before the game, and we all went through our if you could wish it to happen, what would it be? My buddy picked Jalen Hurts to win the MVP, the Super Bowl MVP.
That's what I thought would happen. Yeah.
Another guy was like a shutout, and Mine was Cooper DeJean's first career interception in the Super Bowl.
You're serious? Were you thinking it was going to be a pick six?
I didn't. Wow. I just wanted it to be a pick. And when I seen him take it all the way back, Jason, I lost my mind. I texted my buddy.
I just got chills talking about it. It was so dope. Okay, so I'm watching my son, right? My son, he's little. He's watching cartoons over here. And I'm like, I just did it because when I have my son, it's like, I'll just do it alone, right? So I happen to have him on the Super Bowl. So we're watching the Super Bowl. He's doing his cartoons. And as soon as that pick six happened, I think I screamed like somebody cut my toes off. I was like, ah! And he goes, Dad, shut up, Dad. I'm trying to, it was that crazy. I lost my mind. That was insane. And it was humiliating to Mahomes, and I don't think he recovered from it. I think
No, we had him rattled all game long. He
well,
looked
he
out of
like
sync.
throws a pick six in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, he
Like,
looked out
it's
of
never gonna be
sync. And
forgotten.
even following that, right? That happened.
Yeah.
We go up 17-0, and I'm like, well, it's still not over yet. I won't lie to you. That deep bomb, Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith. Right after that, I looked at my buddy who was there. I said, we're fitting to beat the shit out of these
It's
guys.
done. Yeah, that was crazy. Like not only was it a serious defensive domination, the offense just started punching them. And if that okay, so let's take a step back for a second. Because we got ahead of ourselves and like we just got the chills, we just got excited. I've got to be honest. I think I'm gonna be a bandwagon Eagles fan. If you guys take me, I think this year I'll be
next season. Come on. Hey, there's plenty of room in the Eagles bandwagon room, brother. There's plenty
I
of room.
feel like it's like Sons of Anarchy where there's like a big table with an eagle symbol. It's like church. You guys are gonna have to go to church and vote me in, but I'll be a prospect for you, and you can put me.
The fan base is abrasive, Jason. It's abrasive, but it's passionate. We love this, man. I've been an Eagles fan, like we talked about on the last one, since I was 10 years old. Even though I live in Florida, I felt like I was in Philly. Like it's that serious for Philly sports fans.
Yeah, I think we all kind of felt like excited. I just back to hating. It's just I think the shadow of the cheating was just such a big deal for people.
Right.
And when not only the Chiefs losing, but really losing big, I think it restored faith in a lot. It had to happen because I would have been very discouraged going into next year. But anyway, that's not the story. But let's get back to the game. So I really so your buddy picks a shutout, and then your buddy was picking like MVP. I really thought a shutout was going to happen.
It had been the first time in Super Bowl history.
The Chiefs played not only bad, but they like didn't show up at all. They disappeared. Everything fell apart. Mahomes was basically throwing the ball down into the ground. Like if he wasn't throwing it to other receivers or defensive backs. So on the other team. So talk about that moment in the beginning where the refs took away that complete obvious catch.
You're talking about the fourth down conversion. I didn't like that.
In the beginning of the game, yeah. How did you feel about it? Were you just like the cheats on? Like, how did you feel? Because that was a clear cheat.
I thought it was a pretty soft call, and I was kind of like, all right, like if that's the kind of game it's going to be, as long as it's 50-50, I'm okay with it.
Well, when you look at the replay, he didn't really even touch his face. He was getting distance for balance. And they called offensive on that.
I mean, the defender definitely initiated contact. What drew the penalty was the fact that A.J. Brown kind of lifted his helmet up a little bit. If that happens, they're going to get it every time. But you look at that, right? You look at that failed fourth down. I said, okay, you know what? If it's going to be like this, as long as it's even, I don't care. You fast forward to another drive that we had where Trent McDuffie came up to punch the ball out of Dallas Goedert's, and it was called as a pass interference. That should have been a turnover on downs. And that would have went in the Chiefs' favor. I thought that was a soft call too. But outside of those two calls, it was a pretty well called game. The problem was the Chiefs didn't know how to line up on their side of the ball.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. I thought now, Chiefs fans in my life, they're saying, well, what you basically said, some of those calls didn't go the Chiefs' way, and so it could have, and that was kind of weird. But it wasn't weird. It was normal, and it was weird for them because they're so used to getting away with murder.
Yeah. It's rich to me when Chiefs fans complain about refereeing.
It's crazy, yeah. No, but I mean, I'm not hating. I understand that was a
I'll
hard.
Hate.
You can't. Now I'll be the loving hater. That was a very difficult pill for them to swallow because that's what cheating does to you. It makes you live in a fantasy world, and that team was that bad the whole time. I didn't think they should. I thought they were a 5-win team. I kept saying it the entire year. They show up to the big dance and they get dominated and just completely crushed. So
they hadn't played a defense on the AFC side that would punch you in the mouth.
That's the thing.
We came out and punched them in the mouth. And
their schedule last year was even tougher. Like I was thinking the Texans and the Bills would have been a better matchup for the Eagles.
For sure. I thought the Texans played the Chiefs really well. The only thing the Texans couldn't do was sustain
robbed. We all thought that, yeah. So go back. They're up by 10. How did you? Okay, you're feeling like this could go well, and then let's get. So you get into the second quarter. They still haven't scored. How did you guys feel about that? Because you watched it with a group of people, right?
Yeah, I was at Tampa Joe's. So guys, if you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan and you're in the Tampa area, Tampa Joe's is the spot to watch. There was a giant Super Bowl party. We had 103.7, I think is what it's called. Angel Martinez, his
I think
sports
you did
radio
TikToks
show.
on it, right?
Yeah, it's Angel Martinez has a sports radio show that was there. We got to talk with fans and that kind of stuff. It was a giant party, sold out. They had a giant blow up screen outside with a
That's
projector on
pretty
it, all
cool.
that.
That would
It was
that would have been cool.
it was an Eagles watch party, and we watched it there. And I remember watching the game. Even on the defensive side of the ball, I was like, wow, we're really dominating these guys in the trenches. Like the left tackle had no answer for Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat had one of the best defensive line performances that I have ever seen.
Now, were you really surprised
him.
that they were dominating? I wasn't, but I was more surprised that the refs were just letting them play. And I figured,
I knew it. Like I knew coming into the game. I think I even said it on our show is that the Chiefs' weak point was offensive line. When you take a guard, a good guard, Trey Smith is a good guard, and you bump him out the left tackle to try to help with your tackle situation. It's never going to end well for you because one, guards don't play tackle. Tackle is a much harder position to play than guard in a lot of cases, especially in pass pro. So, that tackle struggled with Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat was beating him outside. He was beating him on bull rush. I mean, there was literally a play. The Zach Bond interception was because Josh Sweat sacked Patrick Mahomes with the left tackle, took the left tackle and threw him into him. And that caused Patrick Mahomes to get bumped, and he threw an interception right to Zach Bond. That was also a really good moment. Defensively, there was no point in this game where I thought defensively we were going to fail. Like the whole game, it was like we came out of the tunnel snapping. And even late in the game, it was fourth down. They had to go for it because now you're down 24-6. I seen Avonte Maddox. I'm not a big Avonte Maddox guy. I love him because he's an Eagle, but the dude's had a rough year. And I seen him out there, and I said, "Oh fuck!" I said Avonte's on the field. They're gonna pick on him. I was like, I know they're gonna pick on him. And they literally ran a draw in out. So brought in DeAndre Hopkins on a motion, and then he ran a quick out. And Patrick Mahomes he had no other read. He just threw the out, and when Avonte Maddox made that play, I said they can't beat us. If Avonte Maddox is out here making plays, they can't beat us, bro.
Everybody was feasting. They were crazy. And that last, we're kind of in the third quarter. We're getting to the fourth quarter. Basically it was a sack, right? Where he attacks Mahomes, just gives him the business. They find him after the fact. Yeah, Sweat after that.
It's like a $5,600 fine.
Yeah, it was like they had to. But everybody was feasting. And when Mahomes was he just kept getting sacked and bullied. And
6 sacks off zero schemed blitzes.
I was like, this is really hard to believe that I'm watching this. But then I realized I had to pinch myself. So they get into the fourth quarter. Okay, the halftime was pretty fun. It was good. Exciting halftime you get in. Okay, did you feel like third quarter the Chiefs were going to make a comeback? I didn't. I didn't feel like there was any momentum change. How did you feel? Were you concerned?
No, we got an immediate stop out of that. They came out, I knew the Chiefs would get the ball back. And I was like, all right, the Chiefs are going to get the ball. They're better in the second half. And if you look at the Chiefs in Super Bowls, when they go down 10 and then they come back always. That's always their MO. Well, and at this point they're down 24-0. And they come out, and I'm like, okay, if they come out here, they could get some momentum. The way we played that opening drive, I looked at the people I was with. I said, they're not going to beat us. They can't. Well,
it was just like they were starting the game over again, right? The
defense literally looked like it didn't go. And the halftime show was extended because of the performance.
Yeah,
so it was a longer halftime, and I was like,
right.
We came back out, looked like we hadn't skipped a beat. I said, yeah, dude, they don't want it like we want it.
The Chiefs were really defeated. And the Eagles defense knew their assignment, which was stay on them.
And you can see it in Chris Jones's face. Chris Jones was like, there's nothing we can do. Like he's on defense.
Yeah.
He's on defense doing everything he can. And he's like, what? We can't do anything. There's not it's the look of, like we put our foot on their throat and then we broke their trachea. After that.
100%. It was old school football, like what we have been missing the entire year, which was so incredible. It was so nice to have a Super Bowl that gave us everything we needed, we wanted, and the Eagles really are they're a blue collar
I think
team.
we're set up
They're a
for
hardworking team.
long-term sustained success.
Well, I was going
Howie
to ask
has
you a
this team set up
question.
for long-term sustained success.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, because it's really tough to back. If any team can do
Very
it,
hard.
they look like they've got the pieces. We haven't even mentioned Barkley, who didn't have a monster game. He had a good game, which was so
we knew
weird.
he wouldn't. We knew the Chiefs are very good against running backs. I will say I was wrong. I thought that Saquon would still go over 100. I think he ended
Me
up getting
too.
56
Well,
off
because he's so good,
25
and
touches. They did a good job.
especially
The Chiefs did a really good job stacking the box. I think they held him to 2.6 yards a touch. But guess what happens? So this happens every time. Everyone's always wants to say, well, the Chiefs are very good in run. They're very good in run. How many yards did Jalen Hurts have? He had 72 yards for a
he had
touchdown on 6.5 per carry.
yeah,
They stop the run from running backs, and then they suffer from quarterbacks. Lamar did it to him in week 1. Lamar had
yeah.
over 100 yards rushing.
Well, that's why I thought, okay, MVP's got to be Hurts. I thought clearly he's going to run for 2. That's what I was thinking. But I thought if he can throw for 1, but we got 2 out of. I mean, he was a monster. Now the Chiefs stopped the running backs, fullbacks, but they didn't stop the quarterback. And so combined, they gave up a lot of yards on the ground.
Yeah.
I just think that maybe Saquon was just like kind of enjoying it, and they were just like they were calling a lot of different plays. They really weren't run heavy. They were actually very balanced, in my opinion.
Because all week long, Jason, all we heard as Eagles fans was, if you stop Saquon and you force Jalen to throw, the Eagles are trash. They can't beat people. Okay. We said, okay, that's fine. You can think that. My quarterback's top 5. He's going to come take care of business. You don't know that. I know that. Jalen comes out, plays an incredible game. He had the 1 pick, and that was technically on the offensive line. It wasn't even on Jalen. He had AJ in a 50-50 ball, but you like to see him throw that away.
It happens. Yeah.
And outside of that, Jalen Hurts again outplayed Patrick Mahomes on the biggest stage. You know who doesn't outplay Patrick Mahomes on the biggest stage? Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Those 2 guys don't do it. Joe Burrow is the only other guy that has proven he can beat Patrick Mahomes when it matters. So when people bring up these things like, who's top 5 in the league, it all depends on how we evaluate the quarterback position. I evaluate the and this is a side tangent, but I evaluate the quarterback position on your ability to win playoff games and your ability to make the plays you need to make when it's time to make them to win championships. Jalen Hurts is the best winner amongst all of those guys outside of maybe Patrick Mahomes. And I know people will tell me that that's a team stat, blah, 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 blah. No, but what's funny to me, Jason, is it's a team stat when we're winning. But when we lose, it's Jalen can't read. Jalen holds on too long. Jalen can't throw. So you got to pick which one you want. Like it's crazy to me.
Well, that's a really good point because you led me to where I was going to go. Offensive line. Now, both quarterbacks, you're going to need your line to play the best game they've ever played to win the Super Bowl. The Eagles have a really great offensive line, obviously because of what they're doing on the run and giving Jalen protection. Very underappreciated. All they did was talk about the Chiefs' offensive line, which I thought was trash the entire year, and they buckled. So I do believe it was Mahomes' fault mostly because you have to figure out a way to win, even if it's a jailbreak and you've won Super Bowls, you've been there before. Everybody says you're 1 step underneath Brady. You can't take 7 sacks. And we know he can scramble. So a lot of it had to do with Mahomes just being shell-shocked or whatever. But do you think that where I'm going with this is, do you think the Chiefs' offensive line really let him down? And if they had a little bit of better play, he would have been competitive? Or do you think it was really him just not giving what his line needed to protect him? Because the quarterback's got to have good footwork. They got to be aware, and they can't be doing 3 and outs and then wearing that line down. So what do you feel about? Tell me how you feel about that.
I think it's a combination of both things. So as an athlete, it's never one thing. One thing will never just lose you a game. It's a combination of things. I think that Patrick Mahomes didn't have his best game accurately throwing the football, but at the same time, his offensive line wasn't giving him all the time. Like I say all the time in the world, they weren't giving him any time. I mean,
he was crazy.
I think his average snap to contact was like 1.9 or 2.1 seconds. That's dog shit.
It pretty much became the story of the game. Like it was like so bad that it went from the Eagles are dominating to, oh my God, what's going on with the Chiefs? Like it was so not competitive But
I think like I said, I think it's a combination of two things. I think Patrick Mahomes had an off game due to the fact that his offensive line was not playing very well. But then there were times when Patrick Mahomes could make plays and he just didn't make the throws. And then also
guys.
You look, there was a crossing route earlier in the game. I think we were up 24-0. He threw a crossing route where Reed Blankenship got caught following a defender over, and DeAndre Hopkins came across untouched. If he would have he threw it to him and he dropped it. If he would have caught that football, it's 7-24 then. Like that would have been 6 points.
Now, one of those interceptions that Mahomes gave away, though, that was just a great defensive play. I watched. It was the second one, and I was like,
Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, and I was like, that was just. I just thought Mahomes couldn't have done anything better, and the defender couldn't have done it. I just thought he was out.
Patrick Mahomes tried to do one of those things like he always does, where he runs to create time and then throws it back across.
That's what it was. So when I watched the tape, I'm like, if you're Mahomes, you're thinking he looked like he was pressing it, of course, but you're thinking that's a good pass. He just got outplayed. So there were cases where the Eagles brought defense that he just could not pass against. Now so we get into the fourth quarter. They finally start to score a little bit in garbage time, but it didn't really matter.
Against our 2s and 3s.
Yeah, but what I loved is that the Eagles brought pressure and kept bringing pressure, and they played like champions. You play until the very end because anything is possible.
I really like the effort. A lot of people, highlight Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, those kind of guys. Really like the effort out of Jalix Hunt, the rookie. And he did a really good job against the right tackle. Thought he was consistently applying pressure. Milton Williams was incredible. That entire defensive line could have easily won MVP. Thought Zach Bond did a really good job. And let's talk about Cooper DeJean for a minute, because I know we want to talk about how impactful he is, but let's really sit and talk. Vic Fangio's system is a commutative system. It's really hard to learn. But at the same time, when you learn it, you're set up for success. Anybody that can learn Vic Fangio's system, he puts his guys right where they need to be to make plays.
Yeah, let's
talk about Cooper DeJean as a rookie being able to communicate that defense to all the linebackers. There were a lot of times where Cooper DeJean would slide down to the slot. He would see, because the Chiefs like to do that motion where they bring guys back around, and Cooper DeJean would look to the side and start tapping his helmet like that, letting the guys know we need to shift. Our responsibilities have shifted. That's veteran shit, man, out of a corner, out of a rookie corner. Cooper DeJean, also, by the way, guys, if you didn't know, Cooper DeJean per PFF was the #1 graded corner in the postseason. The dude was absolutely incredible.
Did not know that.
How we got him and Quinion Mitchell, how he's a wizard. He's a wizard. I don't know how we did it.
100%. It starts with the front office, and then it goes to coaching, and then it goes to what happens on the field. That's why when you look at a team like the Niners, one of the reasons they fell apart, they went from hero to zero, is their front office is just a bunch of idiots.
Right. Cooper DeJean, man, he arguably
they fought over money.
Right.
They weren't looking for younger talent. They just, but back to the Eagles. So it starts in the offseason, right? And I just thought he's so lethal. DeJean was unbelievable. Like, I really thought he changed the game. I thought
100%. The pick six ended the game.
He won the game. Yeah. In the Super Bowl, it's kind of tough.
On his birthday.
Yeah, right. It's really tough. Like, turnovers in the Super Bowl are everything, and it's tough it's tough to get where I'm going with this is it's tough to get a 6 pick out of your head when you're a quarterback. Now, I've never done that in a Super Bowl. I'm just speaking from what I've seen.
Well, because essentially as a quarterback, you literally just scored for the other team.
Right. And possessions are so critical in the Super Bowl. And it's really just about where your head is at. It's not even about the physicality of it, because you can get through that. It's where is your head. And I really thought the Chiefs, with their experience and the bright lights, could really play better than they did. But you've got a guy, like you're saying with Cooper, who should not have been playing at that level he was playing at, right? He should not have been that that
That
ahead of the
communicative.
game.
That it was incredible to see him communicate, but that speaks
What do you
volumes to
attribute
Vic
that to?
Fangio.
You think it's just coaching or,
It's Vic
obviously raw
Fangio.
talent?
Vic Fangio is the single most important signing outside of Saquon Barkley for this Eagles team.
I have to
We
agree.
literally, guys, a lot of people love that Ben Johnson won Assistant Coach of the Year, and I thought he deserved it. He had the Lions in top 3 in every offensive category. Vic Fangio took a defense that was 27th in the league
Yeah.
in points allowed and in passing yards, and put them at first and second. That
It's
what we were top 5 in every defensive category, first in a lot
yeah.
of them. The only category we were below top 5 in was run defense. We were at 8. That
Yeah, and I thought after Miami, I thought this old cat's done, and he proved me wrong. You're right.
Miami, I don't think Miami fit his culture. He's very hard
You're
nosed.
right. You're right. And now he's got new life. I want to say also in the chat we had Flex jump in. What's up? What's up, Flex? Okay, so a couple of things I want to ask you about. Do you think it feels like a lot of people watch the Super Bowl? Do you think people tuned in because they felt good about the Eagles versus the people that tuned out because they were saying they were concerned about the cheating? What's the response? I mean, you were watching it live with a lot of people. Like, what's the response from you? Like, did everybody? It feels like everybody watched it, but what did you think? You think people just kind of tuned in when they realized, oh my god, at halftime they're smoking the Chiefs? Like, talk about that.
It was,
What's
I
your
mean,
thought?
I'm always a big advocate of numbers don't lie. It was the most viewed Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls, at
Wow, I did
126
not
million
know
views.
that.
So I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of people just tell you they're not going to watch it. They're blowing smoke up your ass. They're going to
I
watch.
guess everybody just, so, but okay, but do you think, okay, so everybody's watching it. Do you think more people were rooting for the Eagles to
For
win
sure.
versus the
Yeah, the
Chiefs?
people hate, and now that we won, now everyone hates us. But in the
Yeah.
moment, they were really happy because we dethroned the Chiefs. But now, now we're gonna get to deal with this hate all off season, which we love it. As Eagles fans, I love that shit. Like it's incredible.
Well, yeah, and you guys thrive on it. I mean, you nobody died this time, which I was really proud of Philly. So did I really thought that the Chiefs in the beginning were no match for the Eagles at all? I didn't think they were. I only thought the only way to win was cheating. Did you think they? Now we predicted together on the podcast that the Eagles were going to win, but did you even have an inkling feeling that the Chiefs could win? I never really did. What
No,
do you
I mean,
think?
I had it. I thought it was going to be close. I think I said 24-21. Deep down, I think I even said this on your live. I know I said it on a
Mhm.
different one. My buddy, Chosen, my business partner and friend, he predicted, he literally said, he's like, we're going to beat the shit out of them, dude. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. He's like, no. He's like, I'm telling you, we're going to beat the shit out of these guys. And I was like, all right, bro, whatever. And, it ended up happening. And a little part of me also felt that way because just
Mhm.
watching how we both played, I thought we were more battle tested. I thought we were more physical. I thought our quarterback matched up very well with their quarterback, no matter what people say. People love to blow
Yeah,
smoke
we
up
debated
Patrick
that.
Mahomes' butt, but Jalen Hurts is just as good in clutch moments. Not saying overall, obviously Patrick Mahomes has the rings, but in clutch moments, Jalen Hurts does get it done. And after that, me and him had a talk, and he's like, I told you. And I was like, you know what? Next season, my motto for next season, I'm going with my gut. I'm not going to pick against it. If I feel like we're going to beat the shit out of someone, I'm standing by that
Go
word. I'm
with
going
it.
to
Yeah.
say,
Well, because you really know football. And I feel like your buddy and where I was coming from is we've all watched so much football. Like it's like crazy how much we watched it. And I did not ever see a moment where I thought the Chiefs could beat a team
no,
like the Eagles
no.
without having help from the refs. Let's talk about the parade really quick. I know we got a few minutes. Now, I feel like the Chiefs, okay, I've always felt like the Chiefs have no class. That's me. We all remember their Super Bowl parade, which was a complete shit show. And it was historic for the wrong reasons. I really felt like this was a classy parade. Did you watch the whole thing? I'm sure you did, right?
Yeah, I watched it. It was pretty tame, in my
Yeah,
opinion,
right.
for an Eagles parade. It was pretty tame. I mean,
Right.
it's just the city part. I mean, those guys were sauced up, but it's just the city, man. The city deserved it. The city loves these guys, man, and
Yeah.
they love the city. It's just it. I don't I personally, and I know I'm biased. I'm an Eagles fan. Say what you want, but you won't find a better, more passionate fan base that really loves its football team like Philadelphia. They
Well,
they love the Eagles.
I love Philadelphia Eagles fans. I do. I mean, you're a great one, and we know some other great guys on Tip Talk, TikTok. It's too fucking late in the day. It's too late for me. It's only 7 o'clock. I can't talk. But I just was really impressed by like nobody got killed. And you were saying they're sauced up, but I didn't really see them that liquored up. Not like in the
Nah,
street.
nah.
I mean, there was a few moments.
Nolan Smith and Quinion Mitchell were sauced up.
Okay, so Landon Dickerson. Let's talk about this cat. Oh, wrong graphic. Okay, so okay, I'm watching the Fox feed. I'm not sure which one you were watching. Did you watch the feed where they kept cutting out all the cursing?
Yeah, they
Oh my God.
well, they did that on a lot of them where
They're like a bunch of Karens. I mean, really? Like, come on, let them celebrate. And I just thought it was hilarious that he was just like going to town, like they were just at a bar, like cursing and shit. Now, did you think it was really weird that in Philly, the Philly parade, they were like, "Don't cuss"? I thought it was like, what?
It's because they're trying to make it. I get it. They're trying to make it. But you see him. He was walking even before he got to the podium. He was walking down the thing. The lady's like, "Oh my gosh, you just won the Super." He's like, "Go fucking Birds!"
Yeah, right. He's like, "I've been through a lot of shit." Like it was cool.
Well, did you know? He has to get knee surgery. He played the entire playoffs.
Yeah,
on a torn muscle in his knee. Cam Jernigan's has to get back surgery. He played the entire last two from the Rams game through the Super Bowl with a back injury that he's got to get surgery for, both of them.
And you know that's how you win championships. Unfortunately, guys get really fucked up.
Dogs, you gotta have dogs.
Yeah, you got everybody's hurt in the Super Bowl. That's
why Lions fans piss me off. And I get
18 games. Everybody's hurt, especially the Chiefs were even fresher, and everybody's hurt. And now did you enjoy Jalen Hurts' speech? I really did. I thought it was super classy.
Yeah, for sure. It was very Jalen. Like
he's
it made
so
a lot of
cool.
sense.
I was just like, this is the coolest champion. Like I love this guy, man.
He personifies. I truly believe Jalen Hurts personifies what it means to be a champion. The guy quite literally will never give a fuck about how you want him to win. All he cares about is winning, whatever that looks like, whether that's throwing for 50 yards or whether that's throwing for 100 yards or whether that's throwing for 290 yards against the Steelers when no one thought he could. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like they had some huge moments this year. And
it doesn't matter what it looks like. Jalen Hurts just cares that pops up in the other column.
Yeah, that's and he's got a ring and they have momentum. And I just think that I really am so excited to have a classy championship team. Honestly, I dislike the Chiefs, not just because of the fact that they were winning and the cheating, but just the whole just the overexposure. And I just didn't think I was really disappointed with last year's parade. I just thought they didn't handle it well. But I don't watch a lot of Jalen Hurts interviews, but the two interviews I really watched last year when they got beat in the playoffs. I was out of town. I was watching the sports book. I put money on them to lose, unfortunately, because I thought they.
Hey, listen, you made money.
Yeah, I did, but I just didn't think they could do it. And I
didn't either. Last season, I knew we were going to lose in Tampa.
But he handled it really well, and there was a lot of pressure on him. And I feel like when he made that speech saying, "Hey, it's on me," he took responsibility. Said, "We're going to make it." He followed that thread through, and then here we are. And the second most important speech was we won. We did it. And I just really thought it was super classy.
Jalen is a walking motivational quote book. Like he drops so many.
He just doesn't look like anything phases him.
Right? And I really truly believe that is, and he picked that up from Nick Saban in Alabama. From his parents that taught him.
Yeah. He had a great. Yeah, he's been really a good cat the entire way through his.
And that's another thing that I want to speak on briefly. Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts. Now with Kevin Patul assuming offensive coordinator responsibilities in Philadelphia, this is Jalen Hurts' 9th offensive coordinator. 9th.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a thing now in today's NFL, and the guys have to keep up with that. I mean,
yeah, but you look at Lamar. Lamar's had the same coordinator for what, 3-4 years?
Yeah, but that team doesn't move. They haven't had shakeups, right? Like every other team. But yeah, no, you're right. But go ahead, not to cut you off, but go ahead with your point.
Oh no, yeah, you're fine. I think that Kevin Batul is going to come in and do an amazing job. A lot of Eagles fans are weary because of the Brian Johnson experiment last year that didn't go out very well. Guys, it's
Yeah,
not the same thing. Brian
but
Johnson
they
had
made changes.
he had 2 years of NFL coaching experience. Kevin Patul has 15 years. Okay, he
Yeah.
dates back all the way to the days of the Colts when Nick Sirianni was on the Colts as an assistant. Like
Sirianni.
they were together way back. Kevin's been around the block. He's going to be fine. Jeff Stoutland is
Yeah.
still at Philadelphia Eagle. He's still going to have his hand in the run game. I think that this offense has the real opportunity to open up next season. A lot of people don't realize how open this offense can be because of how great Saquon. And obviously Saquon did his thing, but I think you're going to see a more complete Eagles offense next season because a lot of people called us unbalanced this year, and I don't necessarily believe that. I think that
I don't agree with that.
we just beat the shit out of people on the ground and they couldn't stop it. So we said, why are we going to show all of our cards if you can't beat us with our ace, like with our one card,
Well, and if you're a guy that they can't stop on the ground, you're going to feed the beast. I mean, running game it's really I really believe it's hard to have a really dominant running game in today's NFL, and the Eagles did it, and they paid him really well.
Any team that's won multiple, like a lot of championships, usually they have a powerful running game.
You have to. Now, obviously, your running backs get dinged up and hurt a lot, but he stayed healthy. Chiefs didn't have that luxury. A lot of teams, half the teams had running back issues. Look at what happened to the Niners. So it makes a huge difference. And what's so crazy, and I said this in the last podcast, we're not really even talking about Barkley. There's so many good things to talk about with the Eagles. We're like, oh, yeah, and Barkley. But he was the story in the beginning. So we'll wrap this up. I'll give you the next a couple of minutes to talk about the future. We're okay. Everybody starts at zero again, right? We're starting fresh.
Yeah, we've moved on. I even as a fan, I've moved on. I'm ready for next season. I think that Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman is obviously going to go down as a Hall of Fame general manager. It's going to happen. He's one of the best to ever step foot in the National Football League. I think that he has us set up for sustained excellence for a long time. I think that this is our Super Bowl window for the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to get to see a lot of really good football for the next 3 to 4 years. And I mean, we don't even know what the offseason is going to look like. I mean, I do believe Zach Bond's coming back. I think he's a non-negotiable. I think that Mekhi Becton is going to come back. Milton will probably go seek money, and I don't blame him. He earned it. Josh Sweat will probably – my thing with Josh Sweat is – if we're not going to go pursue Myles Garrett or Max Crosby or Bosa, those guys that are up for trade, I think that you re-sign Josh Sweat, you let your rookies continue to cook, and you go kill the draft like you do every single year. Howie Roseman reaps the draft every single year.
They actually had they went pretty far last year, so they didn't have a huge shocking pick. But they did really well they're very economical. Do you think that's going to happen again? Probably. I mean,
I do. I think that we go edge, and this draft has so much defensive tackle talent in it that one of those guys is going to be an Eagle. So we'll do interior defensive line depth, edge help, outside linebacker help, and then we'll pick an offensive lineman that Howie's been looking at since 2011. And they're like,
yeah, and these guys are just like eat, sleep, and breathe it. And a lot of your guys are young. You've got Hurts, who's like right in his prime. He's a leader. You've got a lot of leadership. That's important. You got a lot of guys that are leaders. Barkley's a quiet assassin in his own way. Cooper's 22. These guys are young.
Yeah, I mean, you think Jalen Hurts is what, 26?
Yeah, right. They're right in their prime. And it's really interesting contrasting the Chiefs kind of like on a downward spiral. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs next year. I don't see it. But I do think the Eagles will go far again. Do you think here's the big question before I let you go, the scariest question. Do you think they have what it takes to go back to back?
Anytime that you're talking back-to-back, man, it's difficult. That's one of the harder things to do in the NFL. We've seen the Chiefs do it. We've seen the Patriots do it. I do believe that Howie has set this team up with the ability to do it, even after the offseason. Who in the NFC is going to beat us? It's not the Lions. Everyone thinks it's the Lions until the Lions run into somebody else that's going to smack them in the mouth.
That's the question.
It's the Commanders. They don't have the defense for it. I think the Commanders are still rebuilding.
Well, the Commanders, they're young and they fell apart. We knew 20 was it 20 to 55 or whatever that was, 30, whatever, like that beat down. So I knew the Eagles were ready to beat anybody down. The Commanders are better than Chiefs. What do you think about the Niners? You think they're going to make a
I
comeback?
think Robert Sale. I think Robert Saleh being back in San Francisco is going to help that defense not be piss poor. I think they're going to be a lot better because Robert Saleh had the Jets, of all fucking people, top 3 in the league in every defensive category. I think that, I'm going to take Fred Warner over CJ Mosley every day, and Robert Sale now gets a more talented Niners defense that just was lacking in coaching. I think we're going to see the Niners retake the NFC West. I truly believe we're going to see the Niners beat out the Rams, beat out the Seahawks, and beat out the Cardinals. I think they're going to take that division.
I don't have a quarrel with that. I do think the Cardinals people undersell them. I think, they have they got
to get better on defense.
Yeah, but we're talking about just this division, right? So I mean, I think that they're who knows, but the jury's really out on the offense. Now, you talked a lot about the Niners defense. How do you feel about their offense? I think it's going to.
I think Brock Purdy has already shown you that he has the ability to get you there. You just need to. You just need to get him some guys. Deebo Samuel's leaving. He's not going to be in San Francisco. I'm not a big Deebo guy. I don't really like him. You still have George Kittle, who's one of the best yak tight ends in the league.
I think he's the best. I think he was the best one this year, in my opinion.
Him and Brock Bowers. I think that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we're talking about. I guess you. Yeah.
Brock Bowers broke the receiving tight end yards record.
Yeah,
biggest record.
True, but that's a really good point. I was really high on Bowers, but if you're talking about who's a better tight end this year,
that's Kittle. I mean, Kittle's the more complete tight end.
Yeah, I feel okay. How about this? You got to pick one of these guys who are you taking?
Kittle.
Right. So
until Brock Bowers shows me that he can do this consistently, Kittle.
Yes, no, I'm huge on Bowers. Like without Kittle, I think they're all better than everybody else. Yeah, especially Travis. Right.
I think Travis is still one of the better tight ends to ever play. I think he just had a down year. He will play next year. I think everyone's contemplating on if he's going to retire.
I think he's going to retire. You think he's coming back?
I think he plays one more year.
Okay. How do you think the Chiefs will make the playoffs?
I think the Chiefs will make to the wild card, and I think they'll get bounced in the divisional next year.
Okay, so we're kind of close. You're saying they'll go maybe.
I don't think they're going to go back to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be the Ravens.
I don't think, and I don't think the NFL is going to give them help. I think that ship has sailed. I think the way we saw the refs pull back on the Chiefs, I think that's what we're going to see next year. And the Eagles now, they're the team to beat. I don't see anybody beating them. We agree. I don't think the Lions could do it. I don't think the Niners can do it. And I think they might be looking at Bills in the Super Bowl next year. It's so early, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's like you're too early. My too early Super Bowl, Ravens and Eagles.
Okay, well, either way, I'm good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with Texans. I'm just happy with anybody but the Chiefs because what we got, and it's not because I'm a hater, but what we got was a terrible product that the Chiefs brought to a really great moment.
The Bills would have played us better in that game. 100%.
It should have been the Bills or the Texans. We all know, but whatever. And I'm not saying the Eagles would have lost. I still think the Eagles would have won, but it would have been a better Super Bowl in general. But it was a great Super Bowl because the Eagles took it.
It was for us. We enjoyed the hell out of it.
The whole world did. They took it. So, all right. On that note, brother, thank you. I really appreciate you taking your time. I know it's late out there, but I really value your opinion. And I got to be honest, couldn't have an Eagles conversation without you that is this good. You're just very good. You know your team. You know football. It's more than just knowing your team. You got to know all the other teams and how they react to your team, and coaches, and you know a lot. So I have your tag up there so people can follow you guys. Follow this guy, man. He's so good. He inspires me, and he's a rising star. I'll give you the last word, man, before we wrap up.
Yeah, man, I want to say thank you, Jason. Obviously, it's always a pleasure. Next season, we'll probably get into a lot of collaborations. I'm very excited for next season and what it's going to bring. Guys, go check out the Sports Lounge Media. Go check out Sunshine State Eagles. Go check out all the Eagles Nest, all of those different platforms. Guys, the Sports Lounge Media has a lot of big things. Like I said, we're going to have our own Red Zone. We're going to have our own Sports Lounge Media bets. We're going to have we are trying to create something special, and we want you guys to be a part of it. It is you guys that drive it. It's not us. I mean, we can come up here and talk all day, but if we're not talking to anyone and we're not inspiring people and we're not entertaining people, what are we really doing it for? TikTok changed my perception on sports media, man. I never realized how powerful the app was until one day I was on a TikTok live and Isaiah Rodgers was in the live. Like I was like, what? Like,
yeah, we were talking about the Buffaloes, and we had a Buffalo player in there. Yeah, it was a good thing I wasn't roasting him. I was actually saying good. It was and he started asking me questions, and I was really honest. And he hit me back. He's like, "I appreciate that. I play for the team." We were like, "That's pretty cool." Yeah, TikTok is a really powerful app. Obviously, you see the world is like, "What's going to happen with TikTok?" So crazy. So guys, follow him on TikTok. I'm Coach Goat on TikTok, of course, the real Jason J. Daniel. And I want to say thank you again, Sunshine State Eagles. You have a great night, man. Thank you so much for making this a great show.
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Take care, man. All right, you guys follow my friend, and I'm gonna have to hang up on him because that's my job. Let's see here. There we go. All right, brother. Take care. You guys make this show great too, man. He's a rising star. You need to follow him, Sunshine State Eagles, on TikTok. His TikTok is really fun. And if you're concerned about what's going on with your team in the NFL or the breaking news, he's covering it. He's very just ferocious about covering it. So I appreciate him a lot. And guys, it's here it is up here, man. Follow me on IG, Snap, Rumble, YouTube. I'm about to get Twitch going. I've got my account going. I am on Facebook. I actually have 2,000 followers on Facebook for this show. I just haven't had a chance to stream to it. We had some folks in the chat tonight. Thank you guys for being a part of what we're doing here. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this design here. Here we go. Yeah, guys, thanks for being a part of what we do. And if you are a new viewer, I just want to say thank you. I'm trying to cover politics, sports, human behavior. I've got a lot of cool shows coming up. I do appreciate you guys watching. My numbers are very strong, and I appreciate that. So thanks for watching on X. And I didn't even get the chance to mention, when I post a show, it streams live on YouTube, X, and on Rumble. And shout out to Rumble Studio, which we're using. We might be moving to a different platform because the show is growing, and I'm trying to do new stuff, keep it interesting. But we'll see. Right now, I appreciate Rumble. Sorry, I didn't realize I had my drink in the way. So guys, take care. Please follow me. Have a fantastic, what is this, Thursday? Fantastic Thursday night. And before I go, I do have a production company that produces this with me. And I want to let you know that is Hollywood Zombie Productions, and they do produce the show. Thanks, guys, for watching, and have a fantastic night. We'll see you next time.